Hello, trading has closed on May 3rd, 2022. We always do our disclaimer first because this is a risky business. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, May the 4th. Remember, I can be wrong, and any trade one makes should be at one's own risk. I thought yesterday's, if we look for the pattern with the early low, this is it, and tomorrow should also have the early low. This tends to be a rally day with a high in the final hour. We got that, but this high wasn't over these highs, and if that's maintained at tomorrow's open, it should lead to lower prices, even if we don't close lower. We had an old target, 41.8744, that printed no resistance at and just above the target. We have a new target from today's patterns, 4150.13. Ultimately, it should print. There's no time limit, but usually you don't have to wait very long. The other idea we have is that this is a bottom of an ABC from the high in January. We're going to make a strong ABC higher. That still is what I'm thinking, but I'll grant you it's not the only way to interpret the wave count. MEJT said this move up here in the afternoon was false and wouldn't stick. It also says this move is false. Where my F disappeared to, I don't know, so I'll put one in. Doesn't like me. Now it's official that this move is false, and they've both retraced to this area. The MEJT system also said these rallies were false, would retrace, and they did. So the ultimate buy signal from the morning pattern is played out. But there's still an ultimate sell, and ultimately we should sell off and go under this low right here. It gives us a target of 4150.13, and normally it will go lower than that at some point. The catch is, even though it usually occurs within a few days, it doesn't really have to. I get about one failure of an ultimate target every 2 or 3 years out of 150 targets a year, so it's pretty certain we'll see this at some time. But just again, once again, it's usually pretty soon, but doesn't have to be. Well, the general idea is we've completed an ABC down. Here's your 5 waves. The fibs are all there. We haven't really gone high enough to make this the only count. For one thing, we could still be in the 4th wave. You don't know. But I'm going to stick with this now because of the fibs and because we covered this prior low. So I'm looking for a pretty good rally with the caveat that it's not carved in stone. Doesn't mean we have to go up tomorrow. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low. We could still gap up. The FOMC meeting announcements tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern typically leads to wild swings, which I can't predict with a satisfactory level of accuracy. I tend to trade little at all on these days. That being said, today's normally bullish pattern can close near its high, and if it's maintained at tomorrow's open, it's a weak pattern, should lead to lower prices at some time. Doesn't assure a lower close, and also if we gap and promptly overtake today's high, the whole pattern's killed. There is a lower MEJT target. Ultimately, it should print. There's no time limit, and one generally doesn't have to wait long to see it. Until proven otherwise, I feel we completed an ABC down. We'll now make an ABC up. It's not the only way to interpret the wave counts. The idea could fail. I'm going to stick with it for now. So in general, unless we take this high early, we should see lower prices. There's a reasonable target, 4150.13, should be seen at some time, if it isn't tomorrow. But when the announcement comes, anything goes. I don't have any sufficiently accurate way to predict the market's response to that, and I will almost always be watching from the sidelines when the announcement's made and get back to business the day afterwards. Tomorrow has the early low, and that's today's call.